Basic concepts and terminology. What is real estate finance? The process of obtaining funds to purchase or develop real estate. What is a mortgage? A legal agreement by which a lender lends money in exchange for taking the title of the debtor's property. What is a promissory note? A borrower's written promise to repay a loan under agreed terms. What is principal? The original loan amount borrowed. What is interest? The cost of borrowing money, usually expressed as a percentage. What is amortization? The gradual repayment of a loan in regular payments of principal and interest. What is equity? The difference between the market value of a property and the amount owed on it. What is loan-to-value ratio, LTV? The ratio of a loan to the appraised value or purchase price of the property. What is underwriting? The process of evaluating a borrower's creditworthiness and property value. What is a lien? A legal right or claim against property used as collateral. What is default? Failure to meet the legal obligations of a loan, typically by missing payments. What is foreclosure? The legal process by which a lender takes ownership of property due to default. What is a down payment? The initial cash payment made by the buyer toward the purchase of a property. What is PMI, private mortgage insurance? Insurance required by lenders when LTV exceeds 80%. What is a balloon mortgage? A loan with small payments and one large final payment. What is a fixed-rate mortgage? A mortgage with an interest rate that stays the same for the life of the loan. What is an adjustable-rate mortgage, ARM? A mortgage with interest rates that may change periodically. What is negative amortization? When loan payments don't cover interest, causing the balance to grow. What is a prepayment penalty? A fee charged for paying off a loan early. What is a reverse mortgage? A loan available to seniors that allows them to convert home equity into cash. Loan types and sources. What is a conventional loan? A loan not insured or guaranteed by the government. What is an FHA loan? A government-insured loan for low to moderate income borrowers. What is a VA loan? A government-guaranteed loan for eligible veterans and service members. What is a USDA loan? A government loan for rural and suburban homebuyers. What is a jumbo loan? A loan that exceeds conforming loan limits set by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. What is seller financing? The seller finances the buyer's purchase directly. What is a portfolio loan? A loan held by the lender and not sold on the secondary market. What is a subprime loan? A high-risk loan given to borrowers with low credit scores. What is a hard money loan? A short-term loan secured by real property, typically from private lenders. What is a bridge loan? A short-term loan to bridge the gap between buying a new home and selling the old one. What is a home equity loan? A loan using the borrower's home equity as collateral. What is a home equity line of credit, HELOC? A revolving credit line secured by home equity. What is seller carryback financing? When the seller provides financing for the buyer as a second mortgage. What is a purchase money mortgage? A mortgage given by the buyer to the seller as part of the purchase price. What are Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? Government-sponsored enterprises that buy and guarantee mortgages. What is the secondary mortgage market? A market where existing mortgages are bought and sold. What is the primary mortgage market? The original lending market where loans are made. What is the role of mortgage brokers? They connect borrowers with lenders and help secure financing. What is a mortgage banker? A company or individual that originates and funds loans. What is a correspondent lender? A lender that originates and sells loans to larger lenders or investors. Government regulation and agencies. What does HUD stand for? Department of Housing and Urban Development. What does the FHA do? Insures loans made by approved lenders. What is the VA's role in real estate finance? Guarantees home loans for eligible veterans. What is the CFPB? Consumer Financial Protection Bureau enforces federal consumer finance laws. What is RESPA? Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act governs closing disclosures and prohibits kickbacks. What is TILA? Truth in Lending Act ensures borrowers understand loan terms. What is the SAFE Act? Requires licensing and registration for mortgage loan originators. What is ECOA? Equal Credit Opportunity Act prohibits credit discrimination. What is the Fair Credit Reporting Act? Governs how credit information is collected and used. What is the Home Mortgage Disclosure Act, HMDA? Requires lenders to disclose data to prevent discrimination. What is a loan estimate? A document providing loan terms and closing cost estimates. What is a closing disclosure? A final summary of loan terms and costs given before closing. How many days before closing must the closing disclosure be provided? At least 3 business days. What is an APR? Annual percentage rate includes interest and other loan costs. What is mortgage fraud? Intentional misrepresentation to obtain a mortgage. What is redlining? Refusing loans in certain neighborhoods based on race or ethnicity. What does predatory lending mean? Unfair or deceptive lending practices. What is the purpose of a truth in lending disclosure? To show the total cost of credit to the borrower. Who enforces the Fair Housing Act? HUD and the Department of Justice. What is Regulation Z? Part of TILA governs disclosure of credit terms, loan calculations, payments and qualifying. What is PITI in real estate finance? Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, components of a mortgage payment. What is debt-to-income, DTI, ratio? A comparison of monthly debt payments to gross monthly income. What is the typical maximum front-end DTI for FHA loans? Around 31%. What is the typical back-end DTI limit for FHA loans? Around 43% to 50%, depending on lender. How is loan interest calculated annually? Interest equals principal times rate. How is monthly interest calculated? Monthly interest equals loan amount times interest rate divided by 12. What is an impound account? An account set up by a lender to pay property taxes and insurance. What is loan servicing? The management of loan payments, escrow accounts, and customer service. What is a point? 1% of the loan amount, paid to reduce interest or fees. What are discount points? Fees paid to the lender to lower the interest rate on the loan. What is a rate lock? A guarantee that the interest rate won't change before closing. What is a credit score? A number that reflects creditworthiness, often used in loan approval. What is a pre-qualification? An estimate of how much a borrower might qualify to borrow. What is pre-approval? A lender's conditional commitment to lend a specific amount. What is underwriting approval? Final review of borrower qualifications and property to approve loan. What is a loan contingency? A clause allowing contract cancellation if the buyer can't get financing. What is a mortgage yield? The lender's return on investment for a mortgage loan. What is a debt service coverage ratio, DSCR? Used in commercial loans, net operating income divided by debt service. What is the cap rate? NOI divided by purchase price, used to evaluate income-producing properties. What is break-even ratio? Operating expenses plus debt service divided by gross income. Foreclosure and defaults. What is judicial foreclosure? Foreclosure through court action and legal proceedings. What is non-judicial foreclosure? Foreclosure without court involvement, allowed by power of sale clauses. What is a deed in lieu of foreclosure? Borrower voluntarily transfers title to lender to avoid foreclosure. What is a short sale? Sale of property for less than the balance owed on the mortgage. What is a deficiency judgment? A court order requiring borrower to pay the difference after foreclosure. What is a redemption period? Time after foreclosure sale during which the borrower can reclaim property. What is a reinstatement period? Time before foreclosure sale when borrower can bring loan current. What is a notice of default, NOD? Notification to borrower that they are in default and foreclosure may begin. What is an REO, real estate owned? Property owned by a lender after an unsuccessful foreclosure sale. What is a trustee sale? A public auction of foreclosed property under a deed of trust. Closing, title and settlement. What is escrow? A neutral third party that handles the closing of a real estate transaction. What is title insurance? Protects lenders and buyers against defects in title. What is the purpose of an appraisal? To estimate market value for lending or purchase decisions. What is a closing cost? Fees and charges paid at the close of a real estate transaction. What is a HUD-1 settlement statement? Older form summarizing closing costs, replaced by closing disclosure in most residential deals. What is earnest money? A deposit showing the buyer's good faith in purchasing the property. What is title search? A check of public records to confirm the legal ownership and liens. What is a cloud on title? Any claim or lien that may impair the title. What is a recording fee? Fee paid to record a legal document in public records. What is funding? The process by which the lender provides loan funds at closing. Real estate finance, laws and agencies. What is RESPA? Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act ensures transparency in real estate closings. What does RESPA prohibit? Kickbacks, referral fees, and unearned fees among settlement service providers. What is the purpose of TILA? The Truth in Lending Act ensures clear disclosure of loan terms and costs. What is Regulation Z? A TILA regulation requiring lenders to disclose APR and finance charges. What is the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, ECOA? Prohibits discrimination in credit lending based on protected classes. What does ECOA require lenders to provide? A reason for credit denial within 30 days. What is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA? Regulates the collection and use of credit report data. What is the Home Mortgage Disclosure Act, HMDA? Requires lenders to report loan data to monitor lending discrimination. What is the Dodd-Frank Act? Overhauled U.S. financial regulation post-2008, creating the CFPB. What does the SAFE Act stand for? Secure and Fair Enforcement for Mortgage Licensing Act. What does the SAFE Act require? Licensing and registration of mortgage loan originators. What is the Truth in Lending disclosure? A statement showing APR, finance charges, and total loan cost. What is a loan estimate? A 3-page document outlining key loan terms and estimated closing costs. What is a closing disclosure? Final loan and closing cost summary provided 3 days before closing. What law requires the loan estimate and closing disclosure? The TILA-RESPA Integrated Disclosure, TRID, rule. What is the purpose of the TILA-RESPA Integrated Disclosure, TRID, rule? To simplify mortgage disclosures and protect consumers.